Power Rangers Wave 2 in ARK arrives real soon. Extinction features confirmed in Astraios. And a giant official server creature wipe with dedicated storage going bye-bye. You're right, kids, it's Raasclark, and welcome to your regular ARK community news. Before we begin, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, share around, and let's get into it. So, Community Crunch 442 drops to us with a reveal of the artwork for ARK Power Rangers Wave 2. Certainly looking more attractive than the first offering, with this one, of course, allowing me to become the Green Ranger, but as well having the options as playing as the White Ranger, Putty, Alpha 5, Goldar, Rita Repulsor, Lord Zed. The Zords are what it's all about, with the White Tiger Zord seeming to be a skin for the Thyla, the Titanus being a skin for the Bronto, the Green Dragon Zord being a skin for the Giga, and the one everybody's going to want to check out, the Megazord, being a skin for the Mech. Or is it in fact the Mega Mech, seeing that the artwork showcased here does seem to suggest it will be the Mega Mech, which in that case is a bit of an issue for most people out there because, you know, to get the Mega Mech, there's only one place in particular you can spawn this thing in the King Titan Arena, having a very limited use to playing with it during that fight. With a hope it'll be a skin adapted to the normal variant as well as the Mega variant. It just feels like a very limited use to that, and if I want to show off this cool, awesome Megazord skin, I want to play with it all the day, and I hope it isn't just limited to that. I want to have a good check out of this thing within a mech and run about Extinction as the Megazord. Obviously, it's going to be catered to those who are actually fans of Power Rangers. Not everybody's going to be a fan of this one. I myself was a fan of Power Rangers as a kid, and this definitely harkens back to that time of old, and will definitely be jumping in, checking out this one when I can. No mention of how much this is going to be, though. I'm going to take a stab in the dark that this is going to be another $10, seeing that the first iteration of this was, and I'll brace yourself, this is going to probably be another one. You're not going to be able to have these stuff included. If you've purchased the first version of this, it's probably going to be another $10 on top. And is it a lot, $20, to soak in the entire Power Rangers DLC? Well, that depends on how much of a Power Rangers fan you really truly are. And whilst these do seem to be really cool looking custom cosmetics, $20 is a lot of money when you pack the two together, but it's for an IP, and I wonder that if an adoption of this is well received, what doors could it open to other IP related opportunities in the future? Opportunities you won't be getting much of unofficial is breeding. It's dumbed down to 1x over the weekend, with some rates being offered to everybody but not official. You've got some 1x breeding all over it, and a lot of people are not happy to see this. But Wildcard seem to believe there's some bigger issues at hand at the moment in regarding to breeding and the stress it's causing on servers network-wide. With them explaining this weekend they're going to be gathering some data to run some tests to understand what's going on. Is there some issues back there? And it seems that next weekend there will be an active breeding event, and they can, I guess, compare the two and see what's going wrong. There is definitely some optimization improvements that are required, and they're attempting to improve that as they speak. Not great news to hear, sadly, and especially off the back of the Dino wipe that recently happened over the giant patch that attempted to resolve the Tinkering Station exploits that I now know are exploits, using the scouts and the loot quality scaling to make insane, ridiculous, over-the-top enforcers and mechs. Okay, fair enough. It does now sound like an exploit when I'm talking about it, with a range of different config settings offered to those that want to ensure they have those caps in future. But at the very least, it offered some exposure on the tinkering desks and the loot quality you can get with any item that's put into the tinkering desk to make BPs. I think it's crazy that it took this to kind of get a more wider understanding of what the Tinkering Station actually does. But in these version patches, Pandemonium opened up with dedicated storage. Of course, Official had all of their dedies completely wiped, and of course, official servers had to be shut down, rolled back until Wildcard discovered a fix. But there is something I think I need to get off my chest with this scenario. Yes, it was unfortunate. Yes, it's another game-breaking feature that happened as a result of a patch that we've seen before in the past. Maybe not as regularly as you think. Yes, I know Wildcards are known for breaking things, and you've got to remember though, ARK has been 10 years old, and all of those issues do build up over time, and it's very easy to ring them all together in a quick succession of patch breaking issues time and time again, when they've actually been quite far apart. But that's not to excuse it. I think it's just too easy to jump down the river of pointing the finger and saying, oh, here we go again, another issue broken from a patch, when it's not as often as it might seem. But either way, it doesn't need to happen. It sucks that it happened. It did happen. A lot of downtime for official, but the gripe I've got especially is the knock-on effect to mods. In this instance, Cyberstructures and their dedicated storage had a knock-on effect and broke theirs completely, and were completely left in the dark with only the ability to react, research and create some form of a fix with little understanding of what was actually changed. And the problem is, this is nothing new. With a lot of patches, mods break all the time. Mod authors out there are shaking in their boots, especially looking at the Unreal 5.5 patch when that arrives and how much it's going to break with their mods too. And I just think it's such a dire situation to be in, where any mod author out there is frightened on what the next patch is going to break for their mod, which is really a dire situation, being that nowadays, more than ever, considering console crossplay support, mods are the backbone of the ARK community. And whilst there is a fantastic line of support for mod authors out there, I do feel more needs to be done. More needs to be communicated to mod authors through the modding community programs, through the modding community discords, on when back-end systems are recoded, rewritten or whatever, that needs to be communicated to the affected mod authors out there. Everybody, there's such a giant adoption nowadays on ARK mods, more than ever, with pressures rising on mod authors to ensure they're keeping up to date with the latest iterations, latest versions of ARK patch notes. And I get in instances like this, where there needs to be a fast turnaround against an exploit game-breaking bug, that these things are going to be rushed out, and perhaps not considering the wider knock-on effect. I think there just needs to be perhaps more clarity offered to mod authors on what changes as and when, so they're ready to react at a moment's notice when they possibly can, to ensure they're up to date too. And speaking of mods, well, the once was gonna be premium mod now given a tick box to say we're gonna allow this unofficial, being developed by Nekatus and still being fully developed by Nekatus, partnered with Nitrado, but just given the green light by Wildcard to be hosted on official. Australia's coming February the 12th. Well, Nekatus let us in on a few things that's coming to it, confirming our speculation from last weekend, seeing that we saw a King Titan and corrupted creatures, that there would be some Extinction influence, and it seems even more than I even anticipated myself. We're going to get OSD drops, element veins, as well as King Titan world bosses and world buffs, as well as the Pyromanes and Dread Mares, which is certainly met to some joy, having some optional Extinction content within this new map. But I know a lot of criticism out there, I've seen it time and time again, is the lack of creatures, with me wondering, will there be perhaps a last minute adoption of something in response to that feedback, or will we see anything brand new entirely in the future? It's kind of in the air at the moment, but there will be custom bosses to face when it releases, such as Medusa, and I think there's going to be a second boss when this releases. I'm not 100% sure on that. Either way, whatever the case, it seems to be approximately 35% done at the moment. Not sure whether it's going to release at 35% done during this launch window, or we're going to see a bit more added on to that. But at least it offers some expectation of how much of the map will be explorable when it releases. I'm still truly baffled on why they moved that June date and brought it all the way forward to Feb. Maybe Nekatus' plan was to do this himself, and negotiations happened behind the scenes to decide, well, let's do what Nekatus wanted and just tick it off, and it creates some great new opportunity, new map for people to play on. But I know a lot of people out there aren't happy being a partly finished premium map unofficial. Point the finger solely at Wildcard, but I do see the stance of, well, this is Nekatus still having his premium map in the delivery that he planned to, and Wildcard are just simply ticking that tick box, that official tick box, to say, well, you can play it unofficial now if you want to or not. But there's definitely a giant argument either way for why you can be for or against the way this is being delivered. Don't forget, I imagine there will still be these Berserk alpha variants that you'll find on the map to get rewards too, and at the very least on unofficial and single player, the companion mods and skins will all still be available for you to play with if you so desire. It will just be official, I guess, that won't be able to play with the companion creatures such as the Minotaur and the Seahorse. And speaking of modded creatures, the ever-talented Garuga just released the Edmontonia, a premium creature that looks like a bit of a powerhouse, packing a bit of a punch, a very wild, crazy creation out there, dwarving the Yankee, seeming to unleash hell from its tusks, and definitely a menace that a lot of people are enjoying. I'll definitely be checking this one out very soon. But also during this launch, and I did hear this third hand, so I guess you need to take this with a bit of a pinch of salt, I was informed that Garuga's ARK Editions that will be planned to arrive to ARK Vanilla base install at some point in the future will definitely be seeing the Brachiosaurus somewhere to the tail end of the complete offering, seeing that this one needs some time to rework and redevelop, and to expect either the Cryolophosaurus or the Concavenator next. With my guess being it has to be the Cryolophosaurus, because the Concavenator has far too many similarities to that Phosaurus. The Concavenator has very, very similar abilities to that, and how much different is it going to be when that one arrives? Okay, it's a smaller version of that, but the whole sand swimming has been done now. Is it a part of ARK? Do we really need that again? And if it is the Cryolophosaurus, this creature is a wonderful addition. I can't wait to check this one out, because this has some wicked awesome torpedealing abilities under its belt when you get to learn this thing. With a wonder when this next ARK edition is going to be added to ARK Vanilla in the future. My guess would probably be around March, seeing that we've got quite a fair bit of content coming our way over the next couple of weeks. Maybe they'll leave it and try and break it up between then and Ragnarok dropping in April. That would seem like a right time to drop in a new ARK Edition creature. And I see a lot of you out there asking for the Acro. I've got to admit, I can't even see this one being added any time soon. It is a powerhouse, it's a monster, and how on earth they're going to attempt to balance that one for ARK Vanilla, I just do not know. But what I do know, more mods are coming at you from all different directions, more cosmetic skins. Are you enjoying these new cosmetic skins? Have you been playing with the Battle Rig cosmetic skins in particular? These are all starting to pop up out of the woodwork. My god, Minecraft in ARK, I really just see that. What? Hey, monkey see, monkey do. But anyway, speaking of battle rigs, definitely a big concern of me. Whilst it's very clear that Wildcard are addressing all of the exploits at the moment and feel somewhat responsible for the most recent exploit being fixed. Like, listen, I wasn't the first on the train there. I jumped on the bandwagon to cover it because I thought it was really cool, but then kind of realized it was pretty exploitive. And well, it seems even more exploits and optimization issues are being addressed at the moment, but the contents, the offering of the battle rigs is still a real issue. They still aren't working very well on servers. Yes, in single player, not too bad, but on servers, they're absolutely dire. They still don't work how they should be. They need to be addressed. I hope they are addressed real soon, as well as all of the other issues such as the lack of spawns. But you know, Wildcard did address this a week ago or so, saying that they are planning to fix this, but exploits do need to be tackled first, because those are the things that are going to affect the lifetime of official. It has to be done, unfortunately. Get on the exploits first, then jump on all of the things that are broken after that. And I really want to drive me buggy in ARK. I paid for it. I want to be Vin Diesel. Come on, sort it out. And how are you feeling about the last offering of this Bob's Tall Tales? How are you feeling about the battle rigs? Am I on my own here? Are you feeling the same about them? Are there any other issues you've got regarding the Bob's Pack 3? I feel like this really does need to be addressed, seeing that they released this a month ago and nothing's been fixed in terms of the bugs that we're getting as a result of them being used on servers. And I know exploits, but come on, it's been a month now. Got to start looking at these bugs and fixing the things that we paid for, you know. So until the next one, my name's Raasclark. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and as always,